I wanted to introduce Nick Broomfield and Elliot Ruiz, who plays Corporal Ramirez. Questions?
Fine, we'll be off.
You're kidding.
Well, tell us about the casting.
Well, the casting was a long process. I wanted to use people who had been to Iraq, who had been through that experience. I wanted to use as much as possible ex-Marines. So that was quite a long process of finding people, of getting people who could very much play themselves. Elliot being one of those. And then in Amman, where we were based, in Jordan, there are about 1.5 million Iraq. Oh shoot! This is a higher phone. I was ready to change the ring too. There are 1.5 million Iraqi refugees in Jordan, so we had to try and find them and cast them very much to be themselves. The family that you see in the first house is in fact a family of 12, which was hard to find. And people are very much acting who they are. Amongst the insurgents, for example, I had no idea how to make an IED, so I sort of said to a group of them who could tell me, take me through building an IED. About 5 of them put their hands up and then looked rather sheepish. But so the idea was to get people to bring their experience and their humanity and their passions to the film, and because I felt that was a way of getting it across to an audience. It wouldn't be actors trying to imagine what it was like. Maybe you should ask Elliot a bit about the experience.
The casting? Yeah. And let me see how did it. A lady, she was, I forget the name of the casting agency, but they put out a casting for prior military. They wanted actors with military experiences. So I went in and they had a call in Beverly Hills, I believe, and I did the casting, and they sent my casting tape over to Nick, and Nick liked it, so he flew out to LA to meet up with us, and we did a couple castings at his home, and it was more like improv to see what type of improv skills we had, and just to get a better feel for who we were and our experiences and what we've been through. And
what were you doing at the time? Were you pursuing an acting career?
Yeah, I was actually doing a lot of, it's called specialty work, is military stuff, whether it's SWAT team kicking in the door or something like that, just, actually it's called tactical. So just doing a lot of tactical movement stuff and nothing really major, and then Battle for Haditha came out.
Did you draw on your own military experience? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I did. My own military experience? Well, I joined the United States Marine Corps at the age of 17, born and raised in Philadelphia, just like in the film. Wanted to get away from the violence, and I ended up, murder capital of the world, Haditha. Well, in real life, I ended up, I was part of the first wave, and we went all the way up towards, we went through Baghdad in one day, and we went over to Tikrit. I don't know if you remember back in about April 14th of 2003, the 7 prisoners of war were captured, were actually rescued, and that was my company that rescued them, and I was wounded that day during the rescue. I almost lost my leg, and then from there, sort of straight off to acting once I was discharged.
Yeah. After being
microphone, if you want to speak into that,
so
everybody could hear.
After being discharged, then what would it possibly be like to go back in this new sort of bizarre sort of return to the same role that you were playing, only now it's pretend? I mean, yeah. What was that experience like?
It was wonderful.
Why?
You got to understand, the first time I was sent to an Arab country, it was for war. I didn't understand the people, the culture, the language. I didn't understand why a man would come up to you and try to kiss you on each side of the cheek. I didn't know. I just saw a crazy person trying to grab me, so it was weird, and then being able to go back and actually experience all that and not have to worry about being killed, actually being able to go lay down and sleep in an Iraqi person's home. I mean, we were in Jordan, but we were actually living with Iraqis. They explained to me their views on certain things, and like I said, I actually got to learn the language and, you know, sit down and have tea with them, and, you know, they invited us to their home, and we ate more in one day than what they would eat in a week, and it was just, it was so humbling, and it was wonderful just because I sort of got to put a closure on that chapter of my life. You know, I left Iraq with such a negative view because of something so negative that happened to me, and being able to go to Jordan and film this film totally changed my views on the entire Arab culture.
It's a catharsis.
I was in Iraq. I was actually shipped off in January. We didn't cross over till March, and then I was wounded April 14, 2003. So about a month and a little bit